And we are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. My name is Tony Vicenda. I am Chief Alchemist here at Plus One EXP, which is a weird little brand that multi-classes and tabletop game design, beard and skincare alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. Our hope and desire here at Plus One is to help amazing designers find great players who love their games and help amazing players find great designers whose games they can love. We do that in a lot of different ways. But today we are doing it in the most fun way, which is sitting down with those designers, or in this case, compiler, editor, project manager, and designer, Matt from Manadawn Studios, to play Tomb of 1,000 Doors. I did key it up a little bit there, but Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit more about who you are, what you do, and tell us about the Tomb of 1,000 Doors.
Yeah, thank you, Tony. My name is Matt Morris, affectionately known on Twitter as Manaramp Matt Productions, more recently Manadawn Tabletop Games. I write Mausritter adventures. I wrote Lilliputian Adventure on the Open Seas, a system built on Into the Odd. And I have the honor of kind of helping foster the Mausritter community on Discord, Twitter, and abroad. And about a year and a half ago, we had a game jam where we built a mega dungeon. And so today we are introducing that to the world via this actual play. And yeah, 43 collaborators, lots and lots of art, lots of writing, huge team. Massive shout out to everyone who made it possible. And so, yeah, I'm very excited. Very excited.
Awesome. And there's been, there was the original collaboration. There's been some itch funding to get some of the art paid for. You put in a lot of time and energy, so have other people. And then next Tuesday, The project is going to go live if you go to ttrpg.link/1000doorsks, or if you actually just go to 1000 doors. I forgot to tell Johnny I already had a URL set up for this one. It'll take you straight over to the Kickstarter page. If you're watching this before the 9th, you can hit follow to get notified when it goes live. Otherwise, you can go back it right now if you're watching this after that. I mean, if you want to go pick up this great dungeon we're going to play, you can do all that. I've got a weird thing happening on my screen I'm going to try to fix, but it doesn't want to let me. While I am staring at that, why don't we go around and introduce our other players? We did have a last minute drop today, but hopefully they'll be with us because we're going to do this as a 2-part stream. Not necessarily all the same players, though anybody who wants to is welcome back this Friday. And then we're going to do one in 2 weeks also to continue our exploration. One of my favorite beards to have on stream. Colin, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online?
Yeah, thanks. Colin Swear. I'm Bioden's Beard RPG on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, wherever social media is. I'm a game designer. I make games like Rune Cairn and We Deal in Lead. And I'll slide in a cheeky plug here for myself. There's a Rune Cairn Warden Saga Remastered hitting Kickstarter on the 23rd. So you can sign up and get updates on that right now.
23rd is a great day to launch because everybody's just itchy for Zine Quest at that point in time. They're like, I got a back in RPG right now. I'm going to explode. It's a great time to be putting it out. But very, very excited about that. And I think Matt built in some great compatibility into this also too. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit in the back end. But let's meet our other player first. Mark, why don't you say hello to the people?
Hello, people. I'm Mark, he and them. I publish games under Major Arcana and Twitch. My last name all over everywhere. And I'm just happy to be here. Looking forward to getting mousy.
Awesome. I am excited to play as well. And I think I have things around. Streamlabs is just being super weird right now and making me put it in a totally different view to be able to edit anything. And so some people are seeing me just poke things around live because of that. We always play with different people here on stream, or often play with different people here on stream. So we use a couple tools to keep everybody on the same page and comfortable. Around the table, those are lines, veils, the X card, and the open door policy. Lines are things that might happen in the wider world of the game, but they're off limits while we're playing it. They're things we don't want to have come up, and so we kind of list them so that we know to avoid them. We have a strong line against sexual violence and sexual coercion on the channel. Does anybody have any other lines or veils they want to add? Sorry, veils also are things that we may come up, but that we will only address within a certain context. Might just mention them and then fade to black, but they're things that we won't dwell on. The X card is the ability for anybody at any point in time to say or type X. Will pause the game, identify what the issue is, pull it out, put something else in its place, and move forward in a different direction. And then the open door policy is just the fact that we're all real people with real things happening around us. If we need to talk to somebody off screen, step away for a minute, eat, drink, take a break, we're going to do those things because we want to take care of ourselves. You should take care of yourself while you're playing or watching also too. So with that said, Matt, are there any heads up we want to give people, any themes, anything else that we should know about as we step in to the Tomb of 1,000 Doors?
Yeah, I would say the only thing that may come up is potentially amphibious body horror. But other than that, there might be rats, there might be mouse traps, but yeah.
I give enthusiastic consent for amphibious body horror.
All those.
So.
Good.
So awesome. Well, with that said, I'm gonna figure out what I did with my character sheet earlier while you take us into the Tomb of 1,000 Doors. Awesome.
Well, a brief history on the complex, just real quick. A once benevolent ruler, the Mad Mouse King, his mind was broken by the horrors that he faced during an attempted coup, and in his thirst for more power, he amassed treasure and buried it deep within the earth. Little did he know that this was going to be his undoing, and he passed before he could really let anyone know where this was. As time and generations went by, this tomb of many treasures and many doors, 1,000 to be precise, got overrun by warring factions looking for treasure, looking for shelter. Monsters moved in. But the Mouse Kingdom is sending out brave adventurers. So the hook is gather up your picks and shovels, prepare your packs as you delve into the forgotten stronghold of the Mad Mouse King, a mega dungeon full of deep and dark secrets. And so that brings us to where we are. Why don't you introduce us to our micey characters, and then we'll jump right in.
Colin, you want to go first?
Sure. So I'm a handler, a merchant. My birth sign is mother, which makes me warm and nurturing. My coat is white, and it's banded. I've got an axe, and since I'm a merchant, I've got a hireling who's a pack rat.
Nice.
Love it. Mark, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm playing Marjoram Seedfall, a trash collector. Also falling under the birth sign of mother, worrying and nurturing. My coat is black and patchy, got luminous eyes, and I've got a hook arm and a needle for picking up trash mostly.
Nice. I'm so excited about this group of moms that we've got going into this dungeon because Colby White,
All right,
ex-fungus farmer, also mother nurturing.
There we go.
Tan and solid coat with night black eyes, and very excited to get a mom's group going in the Tomb of 1,000 Doors.
I love it. Well, that's awesome. So as you guys make your way into the Tomb of 1,000 Doors, we are going to narratively assume you've been in here for a short amount of time. You have somewhat of a lay of the land, and with the Tomb of 1,000 Doors, it is a self-contained ecosystem, and there is a funporium. I think it's officially called Roddy and Rowdy's Funporium. It is 2 circus rats have set up kind of an adventurers guild store within the dungeon right at the beginning of it. And with Mausritter, when you roll up your characters, you start with D6 pips. But I'm going to say multiply that by 100. Because who doesn't want to have a fun dungeoneering shopping adventure before you dive in? So I'm going to tell you 5 items that you can choose from as a group. You can compile your pips, or you can individually buy things, and then we'll jump into the deadliness of this dungeon. First and foremost, they have 1 venom dagger. It is a light weapon, but it deals extra damage on its first stab. It will affect dexterity of whoever's receiving that, and that is for sale for 45 pips. Next, there's a grappling hook. No introduction needed for a grappling hook. It is 50 pips. Then there are moss boots. They do not give you any extra armor, but they make it so you can walk silently through the dungeon. Those are 75 pips. Then there's some big ticket items. There is a bottle of Rattenloft fog. Rattenloft is a mythical pocket dimension within the Tomb of 1,000 Doors that may or may not be ruled over by a vampiric mouse. But someone captured some fog, and that fog, when released from the bottle, can obscure you from all opponents for either a quick sneak attack or a smarter quick run away. And then that is 150 pips. And then last but not least, there is a 1 in 1,000 door key. It is a magical key that can unlock 1 door anywhere in the dungeon. It is 1-time use, and it'll fade away after it is used. That is 300 pips. So does anyone have something specific they want? I'll let y'all deliberate how you want to do some shopping.
I don't know what everybody else rolled, but I do know that you told us that we should multiply our number by 100, and I rolled a 6, so I have 600. So I'm going to say that even if y'all both rolled 1s, we just get everything.
I'm super into that grappling hook, at least, for sure.
Yeah.
That key sounds excellent as well.
That's great because I just want those boots. That's great. So that sounds awesome. And so, are these all 1 square items? Do we need to? Adjust
Yes,
or...
everything. Each one of these is going to take up one item slot. For the boots, if they are going to be in effect, they need to take up a body slot. And then everything else can be in a backpack. And then if you want to use it, just throw it in a paw slot.
Cool. I will take the boots. And does anybody who grabbed the grappling hook?
I got the grappling hook.
All right. And then Colin, what did you call the key?
Yeah, I'll grab the key.
Yeah. And then who wants to, I guess we can each take one more other thing to carry also too.
I'll throw the bottle of fog in there.
Get the bottle of fog.
Yeah.
Cool. I took a ranged weapon, so I mean I can take the dagger, but if somebody else was planning on getting close to things, that's probably better for them.
I've got an axe. I can swap that out for the dagger. I can stow the axe.
And if you want to, Mausritter has a rule for dual wielding a light weapon and a medium weapon. So you could axe in one hand, dagger in the other, roll 2d6 and take the higher.
Nice.
There we go. That's what I'll do.
Perfect.
And then what was the other thing that we're not? I think there's one more thing where we don't have.
It's just 5. There was just a total of 5 things.
Oh, just 5 things. That's good. That's
Hey,
it.
let's throw one in because you guys got some extra cash. Someone roll a d20. It's a random table.
16.
16. Okay, this is a mucus ointment. It is a bottle of a very sticky and smelly mucus, but it can heal you up to D6 HP. So
I love that. I'll put that in my my bag.
Cool. Okay, love it. As you all emerge, Handler, Marjoram, Colby, making your way into the darkness of the dungeon. How do you guys see right now? Is anyone going to light up a torch?
I've got a torch lit.
Cool. So as you light up your torch, you make your way down to a narrow hallway, and the narrow hallway comes to a T. And there, directly in front of you, across the wall, is a large tapestry. For some reason, the tapestry does not seem to be affected by the dampness and the darkness of this dungeon. As you get closer with the torch, it illuminates gold and silver thread throughout. And what the tapestry depicts is in the center is a mouse, and that mouse is holding as a spear a seam ripper. This nice hooked little tool with a great blade on it. Next to that mouse is another mouse who is wielding a very large shield. And then behind the two of those mice on the tapestry is a mouse with this torch that is illuminating with gold thread throughout the expanse of the tapestry. To the upper right-hand side, there are clouds in the sky, and there are lightning strikes striking down towards the mice. And from the bottom, there is a black, ink-like, thorny vine kind of creeping its way up and latching onto the ankles of these mice. And then etched in a beautiful black letter font is the phrase, "Woe to those who are afflicted with the exact price to pay. May the shock keep the hunger at bay." On either side of the tapestry is a doorway.
I forgot it was a tapestry for a minute, and I was like, "This is all really intense." Just to watch, it's the most intense Mausritter experience I've ever had either way. That's a weird tapestry.
Let's work our way from the left, I guess, and pop through that left-hand door.
As you guys make your way through the door creaks ever so softly on its hinges, and you open up into a room where there is a musty smell. As you look down on the ground where dust is, you don't see any footprints. It's as though this room has not been disturbed for some time. And as you walk into this circular room, stone pillars to the north and to the south line the arc and the circumference of this room. And in the center of the room, there are 3 large sarcophagi with some sort of mouse relief on them that you are able to make out as you walk in.
I'll look at the closest sarcophagus.
Okay, so as you're coming in from the left, the first sarcophagus that you see is of a mouse that has a shield, much like the mouse on the tapestry. And the words on the sarcophagus lid is etched, "Loyal Shield Bearer."
Sorry.
No, go for it.
I was just thinking aloud that the description of the tapestry sounds like corresponds, like if it's like the key to a puzzle that we need to figure out, or like if there's some connections between the imagery on the tapestry and the imagery on the sarcophagus.
I mean, you got that key. Just stick it in there.
The first keyhole I see.
Yeah.
Smoke you got him. Yeah.
I would say there is no keyhole on these sarcophagi. They are stone lids, and from the vantage point of looking at the closest one that you're at, you would be able just to turn to your right and also see in the middle is the largest of the sarcophagi, and it is of a mouse that has a seam ripper in its hands, and it says "Valiant Spear Bearer."
And there's a third one in there?
Yeah, the third one would be on the far right side, and it is of a mouse that has a torch in its hand, and it says "Courageous Torchbearer."
And as we like, are these are all fully sculpted in stone, or are they reliefs, or do they come out from?
Yeah. So they come out. They're lifelike in their sculpting, but they are sculpted from the solid stone that the sarcophagus lids are made of.
Awesome.
And these 3 match up with the ones that were on the tapestry.
Yeah. Maybe they got a different artist to render them, but you could assume it's the same 3 mice.
Are they in the same order, left
Yes.
to right?
Yeah.
Cool.
And the 3 mice were above like a black kind of corruption or something at the bottom.
Yeah. As lightning was striking down from the sky, there was also a black corruption coming up into their ankles.
You mentioned there were were there stones around the room? Is that what you said also too?
It would appear that these stone pillars are holding up an arched dome of a stone ceiling.
Okay. And is there any art on the pillars, or they're just worked stone?
Yeah, they're just support stones. Maybe a couple of them have small chunks of graffiti that is like long deteriorated away.
Oh, what's the best piece of graffiti that I read?
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely one that kind of reiterates. It's as if someone was trying to like uncover what the tapestry phrase meant, and it's someone like sketching out how does price to pay and hunger at bay, how do they connect? But this person couldn't figure it out.
At one point, it's just written "just rhymes?" ? Exactly. Gurney guitarist in the chat has a really important question. Also, are these 3 mice blind by any chance?
I will leave that to you. That's my brother-in-law. But yes. We won't say they're blind at this point because they're probably dead. So
they're not depicted as blind on the sarcophagi or in the art. But okay,
they may be in the future. We're still writing this. So
I mean, I think the real question is, whether or not we want to open up these sarcophagi or not.
Yeah, I think we do.
I think for me, we can go with the one with the spear starting off. I feel like the torch or the shield is a much better choice.
Yeah, should we do the torch first?
I think that feels good. So
yeah, work our way methodically from left to right.
Are there
Awesome.
any sconces in the walls, or am I just holding this torch and watching these two wonderful people do this?
Yeah, there are no sconces or anywhere to
Great.
affix a
I
torch
love
or
it.
light something.
I love it. Yeah, I'll hold the torch while y'all open that up.
Yeah, yeah.
So who is opening the? You said the torchbearer.
hmm
Who is
I'll-
opening it, and how are you opening it?
So I'll open it. I'll use the since I know that as a merchant I'm likely, or I like to protect my goods, and likely this they could have done something similar to that here. So some kind of alarm or some kind of like security system in place.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the dagger and like kind of trace the seam of
Yeah.
the sarcophagus to see if I can see if there's anything unusual, or see if I can separate it, the top from the rest of the sarcophagus.
Yeah. So in doing that, you're able to wedge that dagger in there, and it gives a little move, and you can actually see from this that the stone sarcophagus lid itself, it's there's no mortar or grout holding it in. It could be freely moved, but in doing that just a little bit, you lifted the lid just enough for a small little bit of mist to come out, and it has like a pungent rotten egg kind of smell to it.
Mm. Sulfury smell.
Yeah.
Does that like ring any bells for us? Like, have we encountered this kind of scent before?
Yeah, you would. It's a gaseous scent.
I move back a little bit in the in the room
With the
with the torch.
Torch.
Yeah, and I assume you didn't just like flop the lid open because you said you were going slowly around it. But yeah,
Yeah, just kind of like
it is somewhat a troubling scent. Yeah.
Okay. I'll back off. I've learned to recognize that that's never a good smell, unless you're at a hot spring. So I'm going to back off and
Yeah.
let it air out.
Yeah. So after a few moments, you actually can now see the mist making its way out. It's a good thing that Colby stepped back, because that could have been explosive. And after a few short moments, you can see that the mist has just dissipated and the smell has faded in just the musty air.
Whew, that was close.
Not too close. So.
Y'all wanna take it the rest of the way off?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So as you remove this lid, inside the sarcophagus, where a skeletal remains of a mice or mouse should be, there's actually an LED keychain. It takes up it would take up 2 item slots, but it's one of those fun little clicker button LED lights. And upon trying to click it, no light comes forth. And if any of you were around humans at any point in your mouse's life, you would be able to see, oh, there's a battery door on the back, and it is empty.
Oh, I was gonna say, is there a plastic tab that needs to get pulled to keep
No, the tab was pulled in ages past, but
there's a hole for it.
The CR 2032 battery that should go in there is not there.
Awesome. Let's go around to the other side and try the other small one with the shield bearer.
The shield,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah. I'll take the butt of my hook arm and slowly like nudge it off just to crack, see if there's a similar trap or anything. Give it a little bit of distance.
Yeah, exact same thing occurs. That the gas leaks out. Same amount of time passes, and you are able to then shove the lid completely off. And in this one, there are just 2 small, almost identical leather straps. And these straps are about 1/4 of an inch in length. So they are small leather straps, but for a mouse. Yeah.
So would they be like bracelet size or
I would, yeah, definitely bracelet size. But they don't have a clasp on either end. But there is like a punch out on either end, as like they could be attached to something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
3 for 3.
I mean, it's some nice leather, I guess. Do you want to do this last one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, are you doing it in the same manner? I'm just assuming you guys are at this point. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna move back slightly further, but yes.
Cool. Yeah, as you do, no gas emerges. The scent never changes, but what you hear as you move this stone lid is the grinding of stone, and it sounds as though there are gears that are now engaging. And to the far north of the room, behind two of the pillars, the plaster just like breaks off the wall, as you can see a stone entrance about 8 inches in height. Stone just kind of lifts, and there is a corridor that leads deeper in to this tomb.
Is there anything inside of note?
Yeah, it's a large room, but as you can look in there.
Did you mean?
I'm sorry,
you mean
inside the sarcophagus.
Yeah, no. The sarcophagus is empty.
Cool.
Just empty. Yep. From that opening, you do hear a humming sound. Not like a tune, but more of like a low frequency kind of hum.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does it sound like an insect, or does it sound like something manufactured?
Yeah, I would say it definitely sounds more mechanical than biological.
Cool. We all did all that hard work. I'll take a peek in first.
Go for it.
As you peek in, you would notice that on either side of the doorway going in, there are 2 sconces that you can light up.
Oh, I'll light those.
As you do, and they illuminate the room. There are in the west, the east, and the north walls of this room, there are similar statues of mice. One with a shield, one with a torch, one with a seam ripper as a spear. But in the center of the room, there is an X-Acto knife, the blue handle, the nice sharp blade, and it is just suspended in the center of the room by a small copper coil holding the handle at the base, and then the tip of the blade is held in place also by a small copper coil. And as you approach it, the humming seems to amplify in noise.
Gotcha.
Mm.
If when you said each of the statues appear, does it look like they got the same artist for these statues as they got for the sarcophagus?
Yeah, they put together a pretty good team of artists. So it's the same like the same vibe, maybe a little bit different here and there, but yeah, very clearly a shield.
Model. Yeah.
Yep.
Are they each holding the item they're supposed to be holding also too in here?
Correct. And upon closer examination of them, whereas the tapestry and the sarcophagus lid, it looked like a medieval shield. The statue of the mouse in this room, it looks like the lid of a Spam can. And where the tapestry and the sarcophagus lid, it was a wooden torch. This mouse is holding an LED light.
Does it match the LED light that was in the?
Okay. It does. But
is the
seam ripper mouse, it is a seam ripper across all 3 depictions.
The copper coil. So there's a coil at the bottom. There's a coil at the top.
Yeah.
We can't easily get access to the copper wire at the top, can we?
You wouldn't necessarily be able to get access to the one at the top unless maybe you jumped on each other's shoulders. But what you could see is that in between where like mortar and grout would be between the rocks, there is a copper line that works its way through the cracks on the ceiling and then goes down behind the statue of the mouse with the seam ripper. And then upon looking on the floor, in between the cracks on the tile, there is a copper wire that kind of goes under the statue with the seam ripper.
Does it look like the statues either have been moved or could be moved?
Yeah. So as you would approach any of these statues, and you jiggle it just a little bit, they have some give to them. The dust on the floor, it doesn't look like they've swung open at any point, but on further examination, you can see that they are all hinged on one side.
So does it look like they would like tip back or kind of?
More so, it looks like they would probably just swing towards you as just a large stone door.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so they're on the walls as well. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
You mentioned that we couldn't get access to the wire on the top. Is there is there a coiled wire going down into the base also too, or is it sitting on a pedestal? I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's suspended between two coils, and the one on the ground, the copper line kind of fishes its way through the cracks, and it's a thick gauge copper wire. But yeah, it is accessible.
I think I'd like to try to swing open the shield bearer.
Yeah.
Carefully with the hook.
Yeah. As you do, there is a small alcove in a room, and it is empty.
I'll try the.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I'll try the torch statue.
Yeah. Would you roll a D4 for me real quick?
Yes. 3.
Okay, so behind this door, there's another small alcove, but it is not empty. Stacked very neatly on the floor are 3 of those CR 2032 flat disc batteries.
Nice. How many does the LED light take?
It takes 1. And I'll just tell you mechanically that will light the torch for a total of 3 weeks, which is very effective when underground. As you were looking at the room that had the shield bearer, as you were moving the statue, how did you try and like latch onto it to pull the door?
With my big hook arm, I've got the hook on a pole, just kind of grabbing it and pulling with that.
What part of the statue did you grab?
The chunkiest part in the middle of the torso.
Okay. Yeah. In doing that, as you hooked onto it, the rod of the hook arm, it did chip a little bit of the plaster that was over this, and you did catch just out of the corner of your eye the slightest glint of like something metal, not just stone.
I will continue chipping away at that to see what else we can reveal there.
Yeah. On the statue itself, the shield that it's holding, as you chip away at the plaster, it does reveal that this is in fact not just the likeness of a spam lid, but it is itself the lid of a spam tin.
Does it have 2 little studs on it on the back? Maybe
it does. I
would love to hook those leather straps onto the back of that.
Very cool. This now is a large centurion-like shield. It will take 2 paws to operate. You cannot wield a weapon with it, but it'll grant full cover to you and anyone who's behind you.
Cool.
How does the wire that kind of snakes out of the bottom of this through the cracks, does it run? Can I see how it's affixed to the base, or does it just come straight up onto coiling and touching the?
Yeah, it's as though someone twisted the wire into a perfect coil that would hold the base of the seam ripper.
Cool.
And then where the wire goes behind, it terminates somewhere behind the statue of the mouse with the seam ripper.
Yeah. And does the coil work its way all the way up into the ceiling? Like, is this one long piece, or is there a break in the?
No. It's one on the top, one on the bottom, just suspending the X-Acto knife in between.
Okay, give me just 1 second.
So the statue, does it look like a shield was there originally and was replaced with the spam lid, or?
No, it as though someone had affixed for posterity the shield that this mouse that is being revered. It is an artifact.
Cool. Okay.
Before Marjoram gets both leather straps on, can I borrow one of those leather straps?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I wanna very gently try to fish that leather strap over one end of the coiled copper wire from the bottom.
Okay, you're making me Google very quickly.
Is leather conductive or not?
I
wouldn't be doing this if leather was conductive, baby.
I know. I love it. Yes, it is not conductive. You are able to wrap the leather around the edge of the coil, is what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to slowly walk in a circle around it, pulling this coil back, moving further and further away as I go.
Give me a strength save. Just real quick. So D20 at or under your strength, because it is a heavy gauge copper wire.
That's fine. Yeah, I rolled an 8. I'm good.
Yeah, perfect. So after a couple of moments, you are able to uncoil this. Now there's this really just funky, jagged copper lead sticking up, but the seam ripper itself drops to the floor, or the X-Acto knife itself drops down. That awesome blue metal handle with the spear tip of extreme sharpness, it falls to the ground.
Okay. Does the seam ripping mouse, we haven't messed with that statue at all, right?
You have not.
Okay. I don't even pick up the X-Acto blade. I just want to go look at the seam ripper now, or that statue.
Okay.
I'll gesture to my my footman, Jimson, who's my pack rat. I'll gesture to him to go grab the X-Acto knife.
Okay, I will come back to that in just a moment.
Okay.
So as Colby goes to the seam ripper mouse, and as you've seen your compatriots also swing these doors open, you would be able to swing this door open, and behind it is a D battery with a copper coil coming in from the ceiling and a copper coil coming up, and they are both affixed to the two leads of this D battery.
Yeah. As far as I know, unless there's something conductive in between them, this is not super dangerous.
Correct.
But I'm going to use that leather strap to pull one of the leads off, the end of it also.
Yeah, and at that point, the humming sound completely stops, and it is an eerie silence now that fills the room. An eerie silence that is broken by, you said Gibson?
Jimson.
Jimson. As the pack rat picks up this X-Acto knife, he lets out a shriek. What you all wouldn't know, but now he knows, is that this X-Acto knife, it speaks to him, and it imparts a curse upon him. That he must now. He's currently wielding a D10 +2 magical spear, which is quite nice. But the spear has a bloodthirst to it and a hunger. And this pack rat is now cursed with the blood hungry curse. And this cursed mouse or rat must kill a living creature once every. Let's roll it. Why don't you roll a d4 for me, Colin?
Okay.
Why you don't pick up
4.
strange spears in a dungeon?
This is true. 4, sorry.
4. Okay, so you must kill a living creature once every 4 watches. So a watch in Mausritter is 6 hours. So, yeah, about once a day you have to kill a living creature, or you would begin to take willpower damage as this blood hunger drives you crazy. So, in essence, watch your back.
Great, even more reason for Jimson to hate me.
Yeah.
At least we gave your disaffected hireling a really powerful weapon before they got bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
Might as well have given him a guillotine.
Mm.
Is there anything else that y'all do whilst in this area?
No, that's there. We've gone through all the doors except for the one door we didn't go to that led to the same room, right?
Correct.
No, I mean I don't know that there's anything else we can do.
Yeah.
Cool. So as you begin to make your way out again into the darkness of this dungeon, you hear in the distance, amongst the dripping of condensation, you hear these loud thuds as though footsteps are approaching from the east.
And Jimson told us, "Hey, I've got to kill something once every 3 days." Or we just see that from the look in Jimson's eyes.
I will ask him, like, my good man Jimson, how is that weapon you have there?
And I'll let you tell me if he if he relays the information or if he's shook by it.
You know it. Yeah, it looks good. Nothing wrong here. As you were, boss.
I love it. Off in the distance, in the shadows from the east, where the sound of these footsteps are, you now see what looks as like 2 torches, sitting at about 10 inches from the ground, making their way towards you.
They're like floating in midair.
Yeah, from your vantage point and in the darkness, it would appear they are just floating.
Does it look like they're kind of going up and down as they're moving?
Yeah, and in unison with one another.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Do you want to turn on that LED light and slide it over there so we can get a better look without getting too close? Just kind of shove it that way.
Which one of us is carrying the light?
I think you are. I've got the shield on me.
And I didn't pick up anything.
That's true.
Cool. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll turn it on and I'll slide it to try and shine it like into the path.
Yeah, so as you push it, I get the idea that it kind of like spins a little bit, and so it like lights up, and as it spins the first time, it flashes. You see this big shadow of something, and then it kind of lands just right, and there it is. You see flaming eyes as there is a snapping turtle that just is making its way down the corridor. It didn't see you until this light came upon it, and it takes a step back. Then with one fell swoop, it steps down on that light, and it goes dark as its snapping turtle foot crunches down on the light. And the eyes are not the only thing that is glowing at this point, as you can see now the throat of this turtle start to illuminate with a small glow. And you can almost feel any warmth that was down in this cold, dark dungeon wisp past you and make its way towards the turtle.
Maybe diving back into the doorway would be a good idea.
And as you dive back into the doorway, a burst of just fire blasts down the hallway. And I like to think one of your tails just gets singed by a little bit. You can smell just that burning smell. Yeah. What do you all do at this point?
It inhaled first before this happened. Is that correct?
It did. Yeah.
I'm gonna wait till it calms down, and then I'm gonna step back into the doorway with my bow kind of down, and just wait to see if it starts inhaling again.
Okay. As you do that, I'm gonna roll its reaction because that's always fun to see. It kind of sits back a little bit actually, and doesn't take a breath in. But as Colby is the one kind of leaning out with the arrow knocked in the bow, but the bow pointed down, you hear a voice in your head that says, "Lettuce. I want lettuce."
Well, I can understand if you're hungry, but I don't know that that's a reason to treat guests that way. Did you get that out of your system?
Yes, but I want lettuce.
All right. Well, I don't have any lettuce. I've got some dried mushrooms. Have you ever tried a dried mushroom?
With that, it makes a will save, and it has not tried dry mushrooms, but it is intrigued by the idea of dried mushrooms.
All right. Well, I mean, these are my special reserve. I don't just share them with anybody. I'm happy to give you some, but I mean, we can't have any more of that surly behavior.
So as you make do you toss the mushrooms just out, or do you make your way to it?
Oh, I'm waiting right now for acknowledgement that we're gonna behave before I come into the room.
Yeah, you get the idea that this dragon turtle is not combative at this point. It's inquisitive and potentially has the knack to try a new form of nutrition.
All right. Now this is just going to be straight up, so you might be a little parched afterwards. Sometimes I'll throw them in a stew or something else like that, but they're good for snacking on just this way. And take some of my dried mushrooms, and I'm going to walk into the room.
Okay.
And put them how big is this room again?
It's a corridor.
Corridor.
Yeah.
How
it's
long
a hall.
is the corridor?
I mean, it goes probably in the direction the turtle's coming from about 3 feet before it makes a bend, and then in the other direction, it tapers off into the darkness, probably another 3 feet.
Cool.
So
I'll go in about halfway between me and the turtle.
Yeah.
And put the dried mushrooms on the ground, and then back up a few inches.
As you do, the snapping turtle makes its way up. You can feel the hot air from its nostrils as it kind of just sniffs the mushrooms, breathes out almost like a sulfury kind of just burp, and then bends down. Its tongue comes out of its mouth, licks up these mushrooms, chews with its beak-like jaw, seems satisfied, and then because it's so large, it does a 5-point turn in this narrow hallway and then saunters back off into the darkness. Well done.
You're welcome.
You hear the voice in your head, "I'll be back for more."
I look over at Jimson and I just see him slowly raising the knife and starts to walk slowly.
Yes.
No, my good man. Everything's fine. Yeah, danger's averted. No need to attack.
I love it. So as you as a group make your way off in the other direction, are you? Oh, as it stepped off, the LED light, the bulb, the plastic bulb on it, broke under the weight of it. But with the earth being soft enough down here, like when you've broken like a LED light bulb, it's got the little wire still sticking out, but it's still lighting up somehow because LED's cool. So it is not necessarily done. So
it's
you
far
go
less.
pick it up.
It's far less directive, but still just as bright.
Yeah, exactly.
Ethereal light.
Yeah, I'll pick it back up.
Cool. And as you pick it back up, you illuminate the hallway beyond, and you can see that there is a very distinctive bend that is going to lead deeper into the dungeon that you have not explored as of yet.
Is that the direction that the turtle went off in, or?
I would say this is the opposite direction of the turtle. Cool. You could also follow the turtle. I'll leave it up to you guys.
I think the other way is probably good.
I only have so many mushrooms.
Yeah. Don't
love it.
Want him to decide that he wants a main course rather than like after the appetizer.
Yeah, I love it. So one of the things, just kind of like pulling out of the in-game side of things, one of the things about Tomb of a Thousand Doors is it does have quite a bit of tables for procedural dungeon crawling. And so as you move to each new section, there are rolls that are triggered. And so would one of you roll for me a D6?
Yeah, I'll do that. We get a 4.
4, perfect. Okay, on a 4, this is actually your light source. In Mausritter, each item has 3 usage dots, and those usage dots will come up for various things. So this actually fits narratively because you have to mark one of the usage dots on your LED, and nothing says mark usage like getting stepped on by a dragon turtle.
Sure.
So that worked out. Love it when a table matches the narrative. So as you guys are able to make your way deeper into this dungeon, the corridor, it opens up into a large cavern. And in this cavern, what had been ornately like chiseled stonework just bleeds now into smooth limestone. All the walls are smooth to the touch. Just this nice limestone, and it opens up into quite the large cavern. In this cavern, there's sand on the ground as well, reminiscent of a beach. And in the open expanse, one could assume there had at one time been a lake here, but now there are just pools of water kind of scattered about. And then darkness beyond.
I'm gonna get down. How does one of the nearby pools? How do they smell?
There's kind of an acrid kind of smell to them. It's definitely water, but there's something off about it.
Not drinky.
I'm gonna put my spore mask on, and just
Nice.
and kind of just use it as goggles, right? Like I'm not using it to, but just kind of like with the torch above my head, like kind of peer down and see what I can see underneath the lip of the water.
Yeah. It is. Well, roll a d20 for me. Let's just see. Let's see if there's anything lurking under there.
That is a 9.
Okay. No, it does just seem to be a lower spot in this lake bed where water didn't necessarily dry out. And there's small pebbles and sand bits, but yeah, other than that, it is just water. But it is a good thing you had that spore mask on, because it is even the scent of the water now that your head is like in it is wafting through the spore mask. But whatever filter is in there is filtering out the tainted nature of the water.
Okay. Cool.
And you said there's multiple pools?
Yeah. They're kind of scattered all throughout.
Yeah. I do not think I can stop myself from fishing around in them with my little trash hook.
Okay.
If I can dig anything out.
Yeah. Roll a d20 for me.
Yeah. An 11.
Okay. Again, it's just kind of buttoned up against some stones and pebbles down there.
Looks like these are empty.
Yeah.
Does it smell like sorry, Matt.
Oh no, go for it.
Does it smell like brackish, like off water, or is there any kind of more anything more familiar about the scent of the water?
Yeah, the closer you get to it, there's the slightest scent of like perspiration almost. It would be brackish, kind of salty, but there is something that smells semi-acidic, but yeah, it's just a little bit off.
Like something big was living in the water, or potentially.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay.
And the water's like clear water.
I would say it has the slightest like yellow tint to it. It's not urine. It's not urine.
Okay.
Let me clarify. It's not.
It's not urine. It is
Little salty, little acidic, little yellow, but not
certain
urine.
subsection of the +1 server just got real excited and real disappointed.
It is not urine. I will tell you that. Oh man, I love that. As you make your way like deeper in and looking at some of these pools, your light would have just a little bit of an illuminating factor off the smooth limestone, and you would see that there are two distinct paths leading out on the other side of this expanse. One is a little bit wider, and it would just look like smooth limestone and in an upward trajectory, and there is a small creek trickling down from that, and that creek is leading into a couple of these pools. But it, as mice, I mean, a small creek for you. I mean, this is a very faint trickle. And then the other one is a low, narrower path that looks like it leads down. So you got a wide one leading up and a dark one that's narrow leading down.
The water trickling in.
Mm-hmm.
If I pull back my spore mask and I go up to it and I get a little bit just like on the edge of my hand, and I bring that up to kind of inhale, does it have the same acrid aroma to it, or does it smell more fresh?
Yeah, so not only does it have the same acrid aroma, it actually feels a little bit stronger, as though this might be the source of this. But it's not necessarily the scent that leads onto that. It's as you put your paw on it to bring it up to your nose, and you smelled it, and you're like, okay, and you kind of drop the water out of your paw. Your paw breaks out instantly in just the most obnoxious itch, as like hives and all sorts of just rashes appear on you.
It's not pee, because pee doesn't do this.
Yeah, it's not warm, so it's yeah.
And you now take the rash condition, which in Mausritter, for those who aren't familiar, who might be watching, it's an inventory where you have little item slots, and conditions take up item slots. And so one of your item slots now is occupied by the rash condition.
Okay.
Yep. But it's a good thing you didn't drink it.
Yeah,
because there is another.
It's the first time I've ever taken a condition, also too. We've got Dazzler Cats rating us a party of 2. Welcome, folks. Good to see you. We're playing some Mausritter, Tomb of 1,000 Doors. You can go check it out over at the link down below. Colin's beautiful beard, or just hang out here with us. We. And whatever I just put my hand in was not urine, we've established.
Correct.
Correct. Very importantly, one way or the other. So I don't like that too much. I'm gonna I don't know, it's not gonna help, and I don't want to use the entire thing, but I'm just gonna smear a little bit of that mucus over the surface of that rash. Just to soothe it and take care of some of the dry edges of that skin.
Yeah, I will say roll a d6. There's a 1 in 6 chance that will actually just clear the condition.
I rolled
as
a
opposed
2, so I
Okay,
don't.
yeah, no, you're good.
I mean, I'm not. I've just got a rash still.
That's true. That's true. That's true. But it doesn't itch anymore.
Right. That's
You
the
still
important
have
thing.
it, but it doesn't itch, so that's
Right.
nice. Yeah, you can see here where this trickle comes down because this is a wider, like part of the cave system. There is a small ledge on either side of the creek, working their way up into the darkness.
Does it look like this is a like part of like a sewer system kind of thing, like an outfall pipe or something like that?
No, not down at where you are. It would appear at some point there was probably a lot more liquid coming through here, as the water would have cut through the limestone, and as it was flowing to the lowest point. But at the current moment, whatever was cut out by the water just now has the small trickle going through it.
Do we want to kind of make our way up carefully and see if we can find the source of this not pee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we can. I've already got a rash, so I'll take the lead.
Yeah.
Awesome. As you step out into it, you will notice that the limestone, as the trickle is like picking just a little bit of spray of water here and there, it is mildly slippery. Is there a way that you try to navigate this carefully, or you just like bum rushing it and going?
How wide
Grappling hook.
How wide is the trickle?
Yeah, the trickle, I mean, maybe an inch. And I'd say there's probably 8 inches on one side and 6 inches on the other of ledge. But it is slippery.
Yeah. Does it it's slippery? Is it kind of V'd towards the middle? Like, so like,
Correct.
is that
Yes.
cool?
Yes.
Well, the best way then is to put 1 foot on each side of it and actually walk over the top of this thing. If that is doable, like it'll be slow going.
Yep.
But that way our weight is kind of bounced on each side.
Yeah. No, I think that's perfect. So as you guys make your way up, did Handler pass the LED light to Colby because Colby's leading the way, or Colby did?
I had a torch that I've got torches, so I've got a torch at this point.
Cool. So as you make your way up, it makes a slight bend, but the creek seems to just come to its terminus at what initially looks like a very giant, slimy, dark gray boulder. And it almost appears as though the liquid is coming out of like a porous nature to this gigantic boulder and then kind of like pooling behind it. The closer you get to it, though, this isn't a rock. This is a gigantic toad that is inflated like a balloon. And you are on the backside of this toad.
So it's not pee.
It's not pee. But it may or may not be an acidic perspiration mixing with water.
It is toad juice, is what we're saying here, no matter what.
Exactly.
I am gonna stick out like just the edge of what's all the weird stuff I've got in my pockets right now. I'm gonna use like the butt end of a torch. If I like the unlit end of the torch I'm holding, I'm gonna grab it in the middle. If I kind of drag along this toad's skin, does anything come off of it? Like,
so the first thing you notice, something doesn't come off, but the surface tension of the skin itself, this toad is on the verge of bursting. So you would know as soon as you put the butt on this, and it jiggles just a little bit, you're like, if I apply any more pressure, this thing is going to burst.
Right. Hey.
I have a needle.
Oh,
Perhaps we could gently lance it to prevent it from bursting.
I mean, I think that sounds like a great idea. There's just
Maybe not from the back.
the back's probably just as good as the front. But my only problem is when's the last time you lanced a giant swollen toad? I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just asking how often you've done it.
Not recently. No.
I mean, not to leave you to your own devices, but I would love to not be standing here in case things just go awry in the lancing process.
Exactly. Yeah.
The,
I'd also be interested in maybe exploring a bit more before trying to make our way through this way.
Yeah. So,
sorry,
go for it.
the X-Acto knife that Jimson's carrying. You said it was like a spear configuration, kind of.
Yeah.
So is it throwable?
Definitely.
Okay, cool. I'll keep that in my back pocket.
Yep.
Just in
Yep.
case.
For no reason.
I love it. Yeah, as Marjoram is kind of exploring more around this toad, as you make your way to the front side of it, you can see that this toad has like latched its mouth around a terracotta culvert kind of pipe. So yes, like a sewage system in some way, but has latched its mouth around it. And whatever water had been flowing through this naturally is now pooling inside of the toad, and is leaching and sweating its way through the toad's natural poisons. And that's what it's perspiring out. The toad, its eyes, as it sees you, it like acknowledges you, but it's perfectly content to just stay latched onto this water.
It's weird. If I was in this situation, I don't know that this would be. But I'm not a toad. That's part of the reason why.
Toad filtered water.
Is he like wedged into the passageway, or is?
Yeah, at this point, he's been here for who knows how long, but his body is like lodged and locked.
But he seems content, not like in pain or in distress.
Yeah, and any attempt for communication with him, you could just kind of like hear the gurgling voice as water's just kind of just bubbling through it.
What's that sound like, Matt?
Like that. But you're able to determine that he's extremely childish, greedy, and stubborn, and he wants this water for himself, and will not detach from it. This is his pipe. This is his water, and this is his lot in life.
All right.
And what I do need, as you guys are doing this, you now hear from what would be his, the side that you guys are on. There is a small trail that leads out and down away from the frog, to the left, and you can hear footsteps and kind of just like banter and chatter going back and forth in a rat dialect coming up from the darkness.
And this is towards the direction of the other tunnel.
Correct.
That we saw in the other. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right.
So are we like antagonistic to rats, or are they antagonistic to us?
That's a good in Mausritter, the general vibe is that rats and mice don't get along. Not that they can't, but that just they don't currently.
And did it sound like they were moving towards us or away from us?
Correct. Towards you.
Towards you? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe making our way back down and coming around behind them, I guess, might.
Maybe, but
Or
I mean, we all.
with a
Yeah, we may have already.
hopping toad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We may have already gone down and around them in some way.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
The question is just whether we're going to do anything with this toad or not. It
Seems happy. I mean,
as the group is kind of just like deliberating what they're gonna do, you do overhear one of the rats say, "My goodness, Grishak, how many buckets of this water does he want?"
Fun. I man, hiding and then popping this toad whenever they get nearby is super tempting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I actually kind of, I think the terracotta pipe from the culvert, like what kind of condition is it in?
It's not in a terrible condition. No, I mean it doesn't have any visible cracks that you were able to make out, and it is just then protruding from the earth and the limestone.
Okay. How does Handler have any input on this situation?
Well, I think he so the toad is essentially hoarding all the resources here, and not letting anyone else have access to the water, and he's essentially poisoning the water by filtering it through itself. So I think he'd lean towards doing something about it. On the same hand, Jimson looks like he's getting a bit itchy and restless.
Yeah. Is there enough room on the pipe to kind of drill another little hole?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I like it.
That was kind of one of that's one of the reasons I was asking that condition.
Yeah, I think you could. I think you could get around up behind the frog. Like it would take a little pushing against it, like tenderly getting past it. But yeah, you could get to the other side, and the pipe and the toad would also obscure anything coming from the other side from seeing you.
Yeah,
and we kind of determined
if there's any pit or any little place to give in the
I'll say there is.
And we've also determined there's no risk to touching the skin of this frog other than it potentially bursting all over the place, or this toad.
Yeah, that is a good point. Physically touching it, exposing your fur or paws to it, you would potentially take the rash condition. But there's enough room on the side of it that you could probably squeeze through it. Yeah.
Cool.
It would take a little bit of careful movement.
I could place the shield in between me and the frog.
There you go. That's it. Yep.
Use that
Exactly.
Slide, wedge myself through.
Yeah. Exactly.
Cool. Yeah, and then place it in there and just hand drill a little hole in there and see if we can get some extra flow.
Yeah, so as the four of the mice kind of make their way around the back and are going to attempt this, you can now hear that there are a total of 3 of these rats. They are gathering water from off the back of this thing. As you're slowly doing the needle as not to make that much noise, you can just hear them bantering. They clearly aren't even aware that you were here ever. They gather water and they're talking just about themselves or to themselves. They're just confused. They're like, we can't drink this water. We can't touch this water. Why on earth does Grishak want it? And all his chemicals, they're like, we just want to go back. We want to go back with the rest of the gang and hang out. And one of them says, now you know why Grishak got kicked out. After a few moments, they make their way back down.
While they're there, I wanna lean in and whisper just a real funny mom joke to this toad, and see if I can get it to laugh so hard some more water just kind of spurts out.
Yeah, I love it. As you do it, kind of like jiggles with this laughter, and one of the rats is like, it's gonna burst, let's go. And they leave before they gather as much as they wanted. I like that. After a few moments, you can see that the frog has kind of picked up, or this toad has kind of picked up what you're doing, and is upset, and keeps like trying to like stomp its foot at you, but you're just out of reach, and it's too stubborn to like let go of the pipe, and finally you as you're the friction of the needle on this terracotta, it breaks through. And the eyes on the frog, they just get like wide as you pull the needle out, and water is now diverting and like spewing out, and it like splashes on you like with a great amount of pressure, almost as if you're being like pushed against the wall by a fire hydrant. But this is fresh water. I mean, it is crystal clear, almost that like mountain spring sweet to the taste. And the frog is actually slowly starting to deflate a little bit, and the tension on the skin has given, as water is now bursting you against this wall.
Cool. We should get out of here pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't want to swallow us next.
If there's anything we want to fill with water, now's the time, but I don't have anything.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a drink of some of that good water.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, perfect.
I don't think I have a choice.
Yeah, no, for sure. Upon drinking some of this water, it does clear the rash condition.
Nice.
Yeah. The toad, however, he is not happy about what is happening. And at this point, he attempts to detach his mouth, and he is going to try and gulp onto this pipe to encapsulate the hole that you have drilled in it. When he detaches, water kind of just like bursts forth, pushes him back a hair, and now he realizes his chance of holding the monopoly on this precious water is gone.
Gypsum now!
And he turns and looks at y'all, and he's about to lash out. So I need everyone to make a dex save, as this will be our first little bout of combat, as you have an angry, swollen toad in front of you.
I rolled a 1.
I got a 9 out of 11.
Perfect.
I got 9 of 9, so I made it.
Okay. You all, well, and how does Jimson do as well?
I didn't roll up stats for him.
Let's just say try and roll under 10 then.
Yeah. 18, so not so good.
Okay, perfect.
Your time to shine, Jimson.
Yep. Okay, so Tony, you said you rolled a 1?
Yep.
Okay, what does Colby do? As Colby will take the first action, and then we'll just go Colby, Marjoram, Handler, the toad, and then
I'm gonna try to get back from this toad a little bit. So I'm just looking for some open daylight to back up a little bit.
Yeah, I would say you guys were between the toad and the wall. It was pretty tight.
Not a great spot.
Yeah, there's not much room. He has you cornered.
Okay.
And pinched off. Yeah.
In that case, I am I'm gonna I'm gonna tell him his mom would be so disappointed in him, and that's it.
I love it. He is going to make a will save. Yeah, he unfazed at this point. He's angry.
Well, that's why I should be disappointed. I mean, you got to feel your feelings. I get it.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah. What does Marjoram do?
I think now's a good time to pop that Froggenloft fog bottle.
Very good. And does Handler,
whatever it is,
yeah. Does Handler do anything at this moment as well?
I'm going to attempt a similar tact to Colby, and just kind of hold up both hands and say, like, no, my friend, we're not making very good choices, are we? No. See, we are trying to enjoy the water together, and you are trying to take it all. And that's not very nice now, is it? No, it isn't very nice. You're not being a very nice toad now, are you?
So as you guys do this, and as Marjoram pops open the bottle of the Rattenloft Fog, it like just obscures the toad from your view, and then you can just hear as the toad just like slams one of its webbed hands down, trying to hit you, but completely whiffs as you are obscured from his view, and you are actually able to see a way to like dip out around the backside of it. On its hit, it hits the terracotta, chipping the terracotta. More water bursts forth, and I'm going to need the toad to make a dexterity save. Okay. It is holding its ground, but the water is now bursting, and not only is the fog separating you from the toad, but now there is a gushing wall of water just like bursting forth, going down that corridor you had come up, and it has flooded that corridor completely.
Awesome.
We just
Hop on my big shield and water slide down.
We just a swirling miasma of mom tones.
Get while the getting's good.
I love it. Yeah, so are y'all gonna hop on the tin lid of the spam?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say y'all are successfully able to boogie board down the hill, and the water is now filling in this lake that is down there. What do you do at this moment?
Is it filling quickly, I'm guessing, at this point in time, or?
Yeah, not like that you would have to like make a dexterity save as you're running away from the water, but the level is rising, and you can see off in the distance to where that like narrow passageway going down, water is quickly making its way in that direction as well.
And that's the way that the rats went back towards, correct?
Yeah, pretty similar.
I'm curious what's over there, but not curious enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Are there any other exits or?
From what you can see at the vantage point that you are now down on that lake, it's just the way from which you came in. I will say that you can also, and you would have noticed this on your way up, that what appeared to have been like a beach on this subterranean lake, it does wrap around. So you would assume there's a ledge that is on the eastern side of that cavern that will not be submerged. If you wanted to like post up there and just try and let the water like equalize, but
yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, we'll see what
I think
shakes
that's
out.
gonna be the best choice for right now.
Yeah, so after, I would say it's about 45 minutes or so, you are on that ledge. I would say probably halfway through that, the toad kind of just water slid down the thing as well, swam around a little bit, and then the toad just exited this cave in throwing the just biggest of a toddler temper tantrum. From the darkness, that small corridor that was going down, you can see a figure that like kind of emerges, almost in a serpentine like motion through the water. It's white. It glows just a little bit, and if you really looked at it closely, the serpentine motion doesn't say that it's a snake, but it's actually some sort of amphibious salamander-like thing, but definitely has some like cool frills coming out of its face. It doesn't notice you. It seems to be jumping and splashing and having the greatest time in this water, as though this water had been gone for some time. As you do, and spend the rest of this time, where there had been the creek, there is now a constant stream of water, but it has equalized, and the ledge on either side is visible again. At this point, you won't be able to do like the teeter-totter V walk as it's probably like 6 inches wide, but there's about a 6-inch ledge on either side of it.
Pardon me. Yeah, I mean, do we want to work our way back up that direction again?
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Cool. As you guys make your way back up, moving semi slowly as not to just slip and fall on this freshly wet limestone. You guys are able to make your way back up to where the culvert was dumping out. Would one of you roll a d6?
Colin, you want to do it?
Mm-hmm. 3.
3. As you're coming up to the top, before you like make your way out into the opening where the culvert was, you can hear familiar voices as these rats are arguing. There's now 4 voices where there had been 3, and one of them seems to be commanding more authority. And this rat is not pleased with what is going on. He's tossing around blame, saying, "How dare you pop the frog? That was our only source." And the rats are like, "We had nothing to do with it, man!" Like freaking out. And then at one point, you see like this like poof of like purple bioluminescent smoke. And it's like this like nasty kind of smell, and then just more arguing as one of them says, "How do we get out of here? Everything's flooded. There's no way out. We're trapped here forever now." And then one of them says, "We can swim, you idiot." But yeah, there is tension and distraction amongst these rats.
I'm gonna give one of y'all my torch or put out my torch. I'll be right back. Try to sneak around the corner here and get a lay of the land with my moss boots.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, nice.
There you go. There you go. So silently creeping around is Colby, and sees one of the rats. The only light they have, one of them is holding a bioluminescent mushroom that seems to be just glowing purple. They're arguing back and forth, and as you get closer, you definitely make out there are 4 plague rats, which is one of the factions within this dungeon. They kind of have the plague mask, like crow beak hats on, and they are arguing. And one of them just at that point says, "We'll gather up as many of the supplies as you can, and we'll try and make a swim for it. But we gotta bypass that old hermit that lives down beneath us." And they start making their way back out of this area.
Oh, interesting. Back towards where we are.
Back towards where they had come from previously.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I'm gonna just follow them and see where it is they head.
Cool. Do the rest of the group follow, or are you guys staying up by the culvert?
I'll follow. Yeah, at a respectful distance.
Yeah. So from a distance, you're able to like snake your way down through this cave, and it appears there's another corridor that was not flooded by the burst of water coming forth. As Colby has the silent boots, he's able to get closer without being noticed. There is very clearly a workshop and laboratory in here. There are vials of glowing liquids, of pitch black liquids, of all sorts of just alchemical supplies on the walls. And at this point, there are 4 rats trying to load these vials and maybe a small pile of like glowing mushrooms. They're trying to pack up. And they are, one of them throws on a pack and says, "I'll see y'all on the other side." And he jumps off a ledge, and you hear a splash. And then one of them shouts down, "Watch out for the hermit, swim fast." And they are gathering as much as they can.
I'm just you said there's a bunch of just liquids in glass vials, right?
Yep.
Cool. I'm just gonna line up and see how many of those things I can shoot in 2 arrow shots, basically.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going to shoot once and then shoot again.
Yeah.
And see what kind of calamity that might or might not cause.
Yeah, roll 2d6 for me.
4 and a 3.
Okay, 6. So of this like just shelf of vials, in 2 shots, you are able to hit 7 of them. As these things shatter, the first one shatters, and the rats, they like turn around like, "What's going on?" And then the second arrow comes and shatters, and there's like a chemical mixture because things were hit, and like just like this gas kind of immerses, and you begin to smell almost like that. Who mixed the bleach and the ammonia together? Just this sulfuric smell. As one of the rats that was close got splashed, and he just starts screaming in pain, and he jumps into the water. One of them turns around, who you definitely determine is the leader. He pulls out a scimitar, but it's dark, and his glowing mushroom doesn't illuminate where you are. And he's like, "Who did that? Who did that?" And they are now slowly backing to the edge of the water. The sulfuric kind of gas that is in there, it would be detrimental to anyone without a spore mask.
I just want to shoot the arrow. I want to shoot the mushroom in his hand.
Yes.
Just because I can.
Okay, I love it. I love it. Give me a dex save, just because who knows? It's dark, arrows, all that good stuff.
I rolled a 5, so we're good.
Perfect. Yeah. So as you do, the arrow just like hits through the mushroom, takes the mushroom out of his hand, and like sticks into the limestone above this ledge they've been jumping in, just mildly illuminating that. He now furious just charges into the darkness where Colby is crouched. Colby, I need you to make another dex save.
I made it by 1.
Okay, cool. You are able to like sidestep, but he is now on you. Does anyone else in the party at this point make their way down there, or are we going to get some 1v1 for a second?
Yeah, Jimson's leading the way, like holding the spear above his head, just like foaming at the mouth practically.
I love it.
And I'm kind of like surprised, following after him, like, "What are you doing? What's going on?"
Okay, Colby, does Colby do anything at this moment as you've kind of dodged to the side?
Yeah, I just I want to roll into the back of this guy's legs.
Okay, awesome.
Like I don't have a good weapon for this situation, so my only thing I've got is let me try to trip this guy and make him fall on his ass.
The classic tabletop. As you do and you roll, he's going to slash his scimitar at you, but he's going to be impaired because you're rolling. So he rolls D4. He hits you for 2 damage.
Okay.
At which point, now Gypsum, handler, and I assume Marjoram kind of just come in. And are y'all coming in just swinging for the fences?
I'm get my garbage hook and like try and pull his legs out from under him.
I love it. So with the multiple attackers against a singular target into the odd, I'll have you all roll damage, and then I'll take just the highest. So we got the trash hook, which is D10, and then
we've got the bloodthirsty exacto
which is D10 plus 2, and then the 2D6 if you're going to do a wield.
Yep.
Cool. What do we got?
8.
Ooh, that's good.
11.
Nice.
So it's a 9 plus 2
Yeah.
on the D10.
So as Gypsum with his bloodthirsty exacto knife leads the charge and pierces this rat. That rat needs to make a strength save because he had only 6 HP. Okay, he did roll a where's my camera there? That's a natural 1, so he is up. But I will say the exacto knife is like stuck in his chest as he swings his scimitar at Gypsum because Gypsum's the one's closest to him with that lance in him, and he hits Gypsum for 5.
I mean, I'll ask because I'm just curious. Did
Yeah.
I knock him over when I rolled into the back of his legs?
Yeah, that's fair. I actually I'm going to take that 5 away because between you rolling behind him and this exacto knife pushing him, he will have tabletop backwards onto his back.
Yeah.
And the hook pulling his legs out while that goes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
hitting me. We were both on the ground, and I was like, totally makes sense. Like
Mhm.
that's the only reason I was asking.
Yeah, no. He I would say on his turn, he has fallen on his back. He uses his turn to get back to his feet, and he's like slowly scooting away as he's clearly, impaled. His homies who were with him, they bailed. They are off the ledge, and he is making his way back towards the ledge.
Man, it's so tempting to just let him go. But I'm not going to. I'll shoot him in the back.
Okay, yeah. Roll damage.
That's 5.
Okay, yeah. As you do, in proper Isildur fashion, an arrow hits him in the back as he falls face first into the waters below. And if you were to go to the ledge, you would see that body did not swim away. It just seems to be floating in a pool.
I will fish him out with my trash hook as appropriate.
Very good, very good. As you do, he has a small. Oh no, the ring fell off in the water. No, he comes as you pull him back. You notice he's wearing his plague rat robes, or are a little more ornate than the just the standard like plague rat lackeys. He is a lieutenant in the plague rat gang. And so he's got some nice like purple frillery on his.
Those might come in handy.
Yeah.
He's a lieutenant in the Plague Rat game, but it also sounds like maybe ex-lieutenant in the Plague Rat game.
Yeah. Or as the actual dungeon description is, he's a Forsaken lieutenant.
There you go.
I'm gonna shuck those robes right off of him just in case we need to pass on later.
Perfect.
Yeah. We'll give a little bit of extra time for the area around the like alchemical bench to fully desulfurate.
Yep.
But this also seems like a pretty good spot to set up camp potentially for a brief respite too.
Yeah, for sure. As it dissipates, you're able to set up, but you're also able to salvage from that desk a total of 4 vials that contain tainted water. They haven't been converted into poison yet, and you wouldn't know how, but it is potentially liquid hand grenades that give the rash condition.
Love it.
Nice.
Yeah. So if anyone took HP damage, you can restore that on the short rest. I don't think any of you did.
I did. I took 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you can restore that. But yeah.
Cool.
What would?
And so what we've got in front of us now is a ledge going down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's water at the bottom.
That is correct.
How far down does it go?
I would say since the trash truck was able to reach down, I would say you could probably get it's like a 10-inch drop.
Okay.
And that's where the rats dove into? Is that right?
Correct. And there is no sign of them. I will say as you are resting, you do hear some splashes down there.
And is there only water down there?
From what you can see, yes.
If we want to use that grappling hook to rappel down,
yeah,
just jumping, that might be a good idea.
That seems very ideal.
Yeah.
So as you rappel down, the water down here, it's maybe only 4 inches deep, but for a mouse, I mean, it's up to your shoulders.
Yeah.
Kind of fumbling around in the dark and in the dim light of the purple mushroom stuck in the wall above, and any torch that you light. What you now find yourself in is what appears to be laid out like a living room. but with like stone furniture, or like the limestone has been fashioned in such a way that there's like a nice lounging chair, a small table. Um, there's a small ledge that is probably like a shelf that has some sort of like kelp or seaweed on it. It seems to be some sort of like food table of some kind. And as you are down there, the splashing from the dark kind of intensifies, and you can see almost the bioluminescent white glow of that serpentine salamander-like creature making its way back towards this.
It didn't seem hostile before, right?
No, it seemed actually extremely giddy and playful as it was jumping up and down in the water.
So this looks like someone lives here. We heard them mention a hermit.
The hermit.
Yep.
Yeah.
That thing's coming this way. Is there? But it also, like, it looks like this is a. There's no sign of like fire, warmth, anything else like that here.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
I mean, I'm not immediately concerned, especially if these
same.
guys didn't, especially if the plague rats didn't like this thing.
Mhm.
And so I'm fine to wait in its little layer until it gets back.
Same.
Yep.
Yeah, it seemed happy enough after like the water came back.
Mm-hmm.
So as you kind of are just hanging out there, this creature kind of emerges up onto a ledge, which one would assume would be the threshold to his home here. And it hunches over a little bit. It's about 6 inches tall, and then it stands. And this thing is like 11 inches tall. I mean, it's super slender, super tiny little slender legs, super tiny slender little arms, a big head with some nice like frill around it. And with the like most joyous greeting, he says, "You're not rats, you're mice. Welcome to my home.
Oh.
My name's Olm."
Welcome home. Yeah.
we can do a round of introductions. And how was your swim?
It was amazing. There hasn't been water here in weeks. I don't know what it was that saved the day, but the rats, they left, and that was you.
That was us, yeah.
Amazing. Can I offer you? And he like quickly like lumbers his way over to his table, and he like pulls apart some small pieces of seaweed. He's like, it's been so dry here. I haven't fixed a proper meal in ages, but could I offer you some fine dining?
Of course.
Yes. How nice. Thank you.
He sits down, and he's exuberant with just this great amount of joy that the water has come back. He says, I was getting so crusty and dry. I thought I was going to die, but life is great. What brings you to this cave?
Well, that's a great question. We didn't really establish that because we just engaged in the conceit of role play without much of a conversation. We're just a group of moms who like to go out every once in a while, dive into an old Mad King's, ancient tomb.
Treasure, I guess.
Treasure.
Well, this is a good place for treasure. Mice come through here from time to time. So do other dastardly creatures. I tend to live here in my hermitage alone. But have you heard about? There's a set of catacombs through the culvert that has water. I heard rumor there was an adventuring party that came through here about a month ago, and they were on their way to an old chapel buried within here. I don't leave, but they did say there was treasure, and as payment, I guess, for saving my life, I will tell you it's through the culvert.
I mean, I guess that's good to know, because I guess we didn't even think about the fact that you could just go up that pipe now that it didn't have all that water in it.
Oh yeah.
Also, hey Brooke, good to see you. Also, too, glad you could jump in for a few minutes. Also, too, we're super excited about the Kickstarter. Also, The yeah, I mean, those rats seemed like they were headed somewhere else. Though, where are they headed?
Wherever plague rats come from, they're here and then they're gone. No one knows how they got in here, and no one knows from whence they came, but they just appear, and they cause all sorts of trouble. The mole combine hates them. The bat cultists can't live with them. The snake worshippers, well, they're always at war. The sisterhood of the tomb keepers, they seem to stay safe somehow. But yeah, those rats, we don't mess with them. I kind of hid down here in the shadows. They thought I was some sort of like wizard, and they were scared of me, which was working out to my benefit. But yeah, I try and steer clear from them, like the plague.
Oh, we messed with them and did okay, and like kind of pull out the robe a little bit. And
he says that looks like the one the leader was wearing.
He was.
That could come in handy.
You're not carnivorous, are you? Because
well,
you're in luck.
I am an omnivore, so
oh well.
I have my winter store now. Thank you.
You're welcome to it. Treasure for everybody.
Well, we don't want to overstay our welcome too long, but it was. I mean, I'm glad that you got your water back.
You know, anytime you ever need respite within these caverns and these tombs, you are always welcome at my hearth. And he like points to what would be a fireplace, but he's a semi-aquatic creature, so there's no fire. There's just a small little like bubbling geyser. Yeah.
So we might take you up on that sometime.
If we needed your help at some point, is there any way we could contact you or signal you for assistance?
Well, as I said, I am pretty reclusive and don't like to leave. But I guess if it was needed of me, the truth is I've lost my way, and I would like to get back into the veins of the earth. I just don't know where entrance would be. So if you find a crack that leads into the veins of the earth, come back, lead me. I would help you and assist you in any way between this point and that. But without a reason to leave, I wish to stay.
I get it. Sometimes if you can't go home, it's not worth going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hang out, eat some seaweed, and say goodbye, I guess.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Make our way back up the grappling hook.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Check out the culvert.
Cool. Let's just see if the toad tried to come back up. There is a 1 in 20 chance, a 1 in 20, but who knows? It could be fun. Someone roll a d20 for me.
I got it. That's a 6.
Okay, you're safe. So as you guys make your way back up to the culvert, it's a steady flow of water, but it's not like enough water pressure to impede movement. You could narrowly skirt down this culvert.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
What is the order in which y'all are going?
I've led so far. That probably makes just as much sense as anything else.
Cool.
I think I'll be at the back just because Jimson will be up ahead of me.
Yeah. So as you're making your way, Colby's like shimming their way through this pipe, but then there is something kind of just like stuck on the ground that kind of obscures movement just ever so slightly. And as you attempt to like move it, you notice it's a small obsidian stone. And upon like moving it a little bit, there is some runes etched in it.
Love it.
Nice. And upon reading those runes, it is evident that this is a spell tablet. And it is the spell Source, which is a new spell for Tomb of a Thousand Doors. You are able to create Sum, which SUM in Mausritter, the magic system is you can roll 1, 2, or 3 d6s. And you are able to create the total of whatever you roll with those d6s, that many deciliters of crystal clear water.
Ooh.
At any point.
Nice. And is it right that the spells have usage as well? So you can
Correct.
use them.
Yep. Yeah. So you can every time you use a spell, you'll roll dice. On a 1, 2, or a 3, the spell does not incur usage. On a 4, 5, 6, you mark usage, and on a 6, the spell will still go off, but it miscasts and will deal D6 damage for every 6 rolled directly to your will.
Yeah.
Cool.
And if a spell uses all of its usage dice, there is a recharge condition on them. And the recharge condition for source is that you submerge it in running water for a watch, so 6 hours. So it's actually a pretty easy recharge.
Nice.
And does it seem like this was stuck here to recharge it potentially, and somebody just forgot about it, or is the water actually coming out?
No, yeah, that is very a keen insight. Yeah, it was probably left here, as this is a pretty solid course of running water.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll pick it up.
Awesome. As you guys continue on through this culvert, it dumps out into a large corridor. And let's get a D6 real quick as we're entering a new region.
Mark, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I got it. A 2.
2. Okay, so what happens upon entering this region is an area effect. So I need a D4 in addition to that D6 that you just rolled.
Got a D4 somewhere. A 4.
4. Oh, this is fun. Okay, so as you emerge from there, the earth begins to quake as a minor earthquake affects this region of the dungeon. All of you take the injured condition. You don't actually incur damage, which is great, but you have the injured condition now. And between all of the items that you have, one item randomly is just lost to the earthquake. One item for the party.
I will get rid of my grapple because otherwise I will not have any space to put that injured.
So in the commotion of this earthquake and rubble and things falling down, somehow the grappling hook was lost, and you all took the injured condition. But as you kind of come to from this calamity, there is about, I don't know, 2 or 3 feet off in front of you, the tunnel comes to a Y.
Is there any difference between either passage?
They're about the exact same width, and there is a door at the end of each of them, and the doors look to be of the same construction.
At this point, are we still kind of submerged or half submerged in water, or is it?
No, the water source actually, that's a good point. The water was flowing in from the culvert from a tiny little pipe that was dumping in. So you've now bypassed, and there is no water where you are currently. Yeah, I should have mentioned that.
Are there any tracks or anything around either door?
Yes, the one to the right, where it kind of bends off to the right, there does look to be some just like scuffle marks in the dust on the ground.
So this is just kind of like orienting myself.
Yeah.
So is this potentially where the rats went, or are we in a different area?
Yeah, this is in a different area completely.
Okay.
The rats would have dipped out the way you had come into the cavern, and you've exited out the backside of it.
Cool.
Yeah. Upon getting close to the doors, you would know, just from being a mouse that's grown up in mouse society, the craftsmanship and the the etchings on the door. This is probably a old religious site or center for mice, in the likeness of like a real world, like medieval cathedral kind of architecture.
Hmm.
The equivalent for a mouse.
Because Ohm mentioned a chapel where the previous adventurers went.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, should we check out this
Yeah.
one?
Yes, Tony, I just saw you mentioned that. I will send a map over.
I've been popping them up so people can get a sense of.
Yeah, could you get?
It's like, is this a random encounter, or are we? It sounded more intentional, so I just want to make.
Yeah,
sure.
give me 1 second here.
I'm
and
sorry, we're speed running in the Tomb of 1,000 Doors.
Oh yeah,
3 doors down.
3 doors down. So many more to go. All right, I'm just gonna screenshot this directly.
That's a great question.
And
Are there exactly 1,000 doors? Did you go through and do the math?
no, there isn't 1,000 doors. That's
Do you know how many doors there are?
I know there are over 300 like distinct rooms. And so, but how many doors there actually are, I haven't counted. I should do that.
You don't have to. We could also do a competition just so lets people guess, and the closest guess.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, I am sending this over in the Discord. Boom.
Cool.
And yep.
Cool.
Awesome. And let me pull up those notes again. Back at it. Okay. Yeah. So you guys are looking to go into one of those 2 doors. Which one is the one you are looking to go through?
We're both like, does it look like 2 entrances to the same area, or like both are kind of the cathedral or chapel? Yeah,
the doors are definitely of the same make. They are facing in opposite directions. One tails off to the north, and the other goes due east from where you would be standing. And the one that goes to the east is the one that has more disruption to the dust on the floor.
That probably points to it being where the other adventurers went.
Yeah, let's check out that one.
Yeah.
Cool. So as you make your way in, it is a small stone-clad room, damp and cool. You can hear the echoing drips of water that almost fill the room in like a rhythmic pattern, almost music life. There is a gilded teacup with a broken handle full of water sitting in the middle of the room. And it is what is catching the rhythmic drips as roots from the trees in the forest above the ground have broken through the ceiling, just dripping condensation down. Fixed on every wall in this room are empty brass thimbles. Beneath every single one of these thimbles is an etching of mouse paws cupped as though to catch dripping liquid. And there is water in each of these thimbles that is slowly just like dripping out the base of the thimble. And in addition to that, there is a small doorway leading out, and then there is another doorway that is leading on the map that you have, Tony. There's this is an older map. There is a doorway connecting that room to the room adjacent to the east.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I was highlighting the wrong part of the map. Anyways. Oop.
Perfect. What do y'all do?
I smell the water because that's just a consistent. You want to just keep things.
Yeah. This water has no scent to it, which is normally a good thing.
Yeah.
Did you say there was one main gilded teacup at the center of the room?
Yes.
And there's other thimbles that are gathering water as well.
Correct.
Okay. Is the gilded teacup, is that, so it is broken handle and is full of water?
Yes.
Okay.
It's gilded. Did you say it? What type of metal is it? Gold?
Yeah, let's say it's gold. It's got a nice there's just that like beautiful blue and white like china design on the teacup itself, and then it's gilded with gold around the rim, has a gilded gold like base to it, and then the handle that's broken. One would assume it was gold, and that was an easy thing to just break off and take. Some group had come and gone.
Mm.
And the thimbles all around are shiny brass.
Are there any more tracks? Like, does it look like anyone went in a particular direction?
There is some. I would say there's equal disturbance to the dust on the ground, leading out of the room to the north and to the small corridor that goes off to the east.
So you said it had hallmarks of like a cathedral or like a chapel. Does
Correct.
it look like they were worshiping like the water itself, or is there like a deity?
Yeah, the cupped hands that are etched in the wall beneath, one would assume or could assume that this is potentially some kind of holy water. The mouse religions of old have kind of like faded, and so they're not all common knowledge to common explorers these days. But you would have some tangential knowledge that there are bat cultists that exist within this dungeon, and this room does not appear to have any bat cultist ritual kind of depiction to it.
Hey, we've got the folks from Critical Chit. Just rated us with the party of 8. Oh, it's the Laura Mistress. Hey, Laura Mistress. Did y'all just get finished with the Wassailing actual play y'all were doing? And join us over here for the Tomb of 1,000 Doors Mausritter actual play. Love it. Glad to have y'all. Did y'all let us know in the chat if you wassailed properly or how you dealt with the weirdest trouble also too. As you talk, as it kind of occurs to us about the bat cultists, like I'll look up at the vaulted ceilings of this cathedral.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, good call.
There are in this room nothing weird hanging.
Awesome.
In this room.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah, if there's nothing else in the thimbles or the cup or around there, one of the doors, one to the east, pop it open.
Cool. As you open up that door, there is a chill that comes from this room. As it opens up, there are the floor is like exposed earth, and the mud that the floor is supporting like flint shards, just kind of like jabbing up into the open air. There are mounds of limp and discolored flowers that make the air sweet but also thick. There are handholds that are made for climbing that have been dug into the walls. And there is a desiccated bat corpse that is mounted on a pedestal near the ceiling. And this bat corpse is hanging upside down with several large dead moths pinned around its feet from those flint protrusions. And there are in this room some earthworms milling about and as you open the door, you catch their attention. And who would like to roll a d6 to see how many of these earthworms?
I can do it. There's 5 of them.
Okay, these earthworms see you, and one kind of like pops down from the earth above. And I would love you all to make dex saves as we are jumping into earthworm combat.
I'll say I didn't do as well as last time. I only rolled a 2 this time.
Nice.
5.
5. Okay, awesome.
So I failed, but Jimson passed.
Okay.
That's all we need.
And then, okay, perfect. So, Tony, we'll let you start it off again. What does Colby do as there are 5 earthworms?
If you cut one of these earthworms in half, are we going to be fighting 6 earthworms? That's the real question.
One can only find out.
I'm gonna shoot, and my attempt is to more so pin one of these things to the earth than it is to, like, I'm less worried about killing it than I am about not letting it get any closer to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'll say you're going at earthworm 1.
Yeah. I don't have it pulled up. Is a heavy ranged weapon, is that a D8?
Yeah, D8.
That's a 4.
4. Okay, perfect. So you shoot this thing, and the arrow hits it. It penetrates, but the earthworm is still making its way towards you. So it's hit it, but it hasn't necessarily stopped it. Okay, that takes us to Marjoram.
Yeah, I'll use my big garbage hook. Try and get one of these guys ready to go fishing.
Okay, awesome.
That's 3 damage.
3 damage.
Worm number 2.
Okay. As you hit it, it kind of like writhes a little bit, but is still making its way towards your group. What does Jimson do?
I'm gonna go for Jimson's gonna attack the one that Colby attacked.
Okay, awesome. Okay, awesome.
That's 8 plus 2 is 10.
Nice.
Holy moly. Okay, so that earthworm, it gets just like you sever the earthworm, and it splits into 2. But as it's split into 2, those 2 pieces with the amount of damage you did, they writhe and they die.
It splits in 2, but you cut it long ways.
Exactly. So earthworm 1 is down. That takes us to earthworm number 2, who is going to attempt to lunge forward at Marjoram, who hit it with the trash hook, and is going to hit for 3 damage.
And I cannot use the shield because it is
correct.
2 ends. Yep.
Correct. Yep. Earthworm number 3 is going to jump up and is going to try and make an attack at. He's going to try and make an attack at Colby. Colby. He hits Colby for 3.
Okay.
And again, for anyone watching or in the chat, the way Mausritter combat works, if you're not familiar, deals to HP, which is hit protection. Not hit points. It's the amount of damage that you can incur before you start taking physical harm. Once your HP drops to 0, you start taking strength damage. If you take strength damage, you will then make a strength save, rolling at the new number. And if you roll above that number, you drop unconscious. And earthworm number 4 makes an attack at Handler, and is going to hit Handler for 3. And earthworm number 5 goes at Jimson and does 3 damage. They all dealt 3 damage. Yeah.
Well, the handler's reduced to 0 HP with that.
Okay. Did they incur any strength damage?
No.
Okay.
Just exactly to 0.
Cool.
Yeah,
If we were playing Cairn, y'all would get scars, but we're not playing Cairn. Awesome. Okay, that then takes us to Handler. What does Handler do in this situation?
He's going to attack the closest,
Okay.
or the worm that just attacked him.
Yep. So earthworm number 4.
Right. So there's 2d6, right, with double weapons.
Yep.
Yeah. 10. So 4 and a 6.
Okay. Do you know which one of those you would have said was the poison dagger?
Yeah, it would have been on my offhand. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So would that have been the 6?
What did I say? 4 and 6. So I'll say 6. Yeah.
Perfect. So I need you to roll another d6, as this is going to deal an additional d6 damage to the dex of this earthworm.
That's 3.
Okay. So you stabbing this earthworm and then injecting this like venom into it, it no longer is able to split, which would be its normal response upon taking that much damage. So earthworm number 4 just dies. It begins to shrivel. That takes us back to the top, where Colby is up.
And is the poison only the first time it's used, or is it?
It is only the first time it is used. Yep.
It is now just a dagger.
It is now just a dagger. Yep. One could, in theory, we'll just say for fun,
it.
Yeah, we'll just say it's somehow a fang that is a syringe also, so you can extract the venom to refill it and stab it. That's now canon.
Did anyone grab those vials of itchy water?
I did not say I did know.
I definitely did not.
No, I think
we know where they are.
No, yeah.
I'm gonna shoot. Which one of these have taken damage? What numbers?
Earthworm 2 has taken damage, and 3 and 5 have not taken damage yet.
I will hit the one that has taken damage already. Oh, pardon me. That's
awesome.
6.
6. Ooh, okay, nice. As you hit it, it reduces down to its dying point, which for the earthworm, it splits in 2, and now there are 2 little earthworms. We'll call them Earthworm 2.1 and Earthworm 2.2. They both look very, very injured. But yeah, they are still up. That takes us to Marjoram.
Yeah, I'm gonna hook one of the little guys, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
For 2 points.
Yeah, and that's enough to do it. Earthworm 2.2 is down. That takes us to Jimson.
Right. He's going to attack the closest one.
Okay.
Probably the one that's most damaged.
Okay. Earthworm number 5 hasn't taken damage, but did just hit Jimson. If that.
Yeah. So he'll retaliate.
Okay. Awesome.
That is 1 plus 2 is 3.
Okay.
Damage.
Okay. That earthworm is not stoked about being hit. Earthworm 2.1 is going to try and make an attack at. Let's see which one of you it is. It's going to try and make an attack at Colby and deals 1 damage.
Okay.
Okay. Earthworm number 3 is going to make an attack at. Let's see. That is Handler, and is going to hit Handler for 2.
Okay, so that takes me to 7 strength. And
Okay.
Yeah, so it reduces my strength by 2.
Okay.
So do I do a critical damage?
Yeah. Strength
Or a
save. Yep.
Yeah. Natural 20. So
Ooh. This worm, in addition to this, is it has kind of like locked onto you and is now starting to do like the boa constrictor. It wants you to be its food. When we get back to your turn, you can strength save again to try and come to. That takes us to Earthworm number 5, which makes an attack at Marjoram and hits Marjoram for 1.
Ooh. That is a strength save, and that puts me out.
Oh, okay.
I closed the door.
Roll the
Come back,
that one.
come back with the new moms group later.
Okay, that does take us, Colin. You can make a strength save for Handler to see if Handler is able to come to his senses and see what goes down.
after the natural 20, it's a 1.
Okay. Okay, that's the full spectrum.
Exactly.
You come to and you realize this thing is constricting you. You are presence, but that was your turn. And that then takes us back to the top to Colby. Colby, as Colby shuts the door and says,
No, I
need a
don't
new
actually. I don't. Yeah, I am. What did Jimson do anything?
It will be his turn after
Me? Okay, cool.
after Marjoram tries to wake up.
And who is injured currently?
Marjoram.
I'm incapacitated.
Yep, incapacitated.
No, sorry. Which of the worms? I love you.
Earthworm number 5, who is currently attacking Marjoram, and then Earthworm 2.1 has taken no damage, but is very little. And Earthworm 3 is still yet to take any damage.
I'm going to take care of Earthworm 2. Whatever.
Okay. Just roll better than a 2 and it's dead.
Yeah, that's a 6.
Okay. Yeah, Earthworm 2.1 is gone. Mark, if you want to make a strength save for Marjoram.
No.
Okay. The constricting of Earthworm number 5 on you is getting nice. It's snug. Jimson.
Are any earthworms still alive that have attacked Jimson?
Yes, Earthworm number 5 moved from Jimson and is now coiling on Marjoram.
Cool. He'll attack that earthworm.
Okay, awesome.
That's 7 plus 2 is 9 damage.
Oh, okay. It breaks free from Marjoram because now it is 2 little earthworms. One of which is looking way worse. 5.1 is at death's door. 5.2 is attempting to reconstrict Marjoram, but it doesn't have the body length to do so. Okay, that then takes us to Earthworm number 3, which moves in against Jimson and hits Jimson for 3.
All right. He's still fine.
Okay.
Nice. 5 HP for him.
Oh, awesome. And then Earthworm 5.1 makes an attack at is going to try and bite over at Handler and deals 1 damage.
Okay. That's another strength save. Made it with a 4.
Wow.
Awesome. That is awesome. Earthworm number 5 takes a 5.2 takes a bite for 1 at Marjoram.
Yep, that's bad. Nope, no good for me. Strength down to 9 out of 11.
Okay. And you were already incapacitated.
I'm incapacitated. Yep.
Okay. That then takes us to Marjoram, to the Handler, who is awake but being constricted.
I'll attack the worm that's constricting me.
Okay, perfect.
So a 1 and a 2.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, what 1 was all you needed to kill 5.1, and you got the 2. So 5.1 is down. That then takes us to Colby, who is not being attacked currently.
Yeah. So we've got 5.1 is gone.
Yeah, you got number 3 and 5.2 are the only ones left.
And has 3 just been ineffectually attacking people, or are they trying to constrict anyone particularly?
Number 3 was had tried to constrict Handler, but has pulled away. I think they attacked Jimson last turn.
We got a 7 on number 3.
Oh, okay. Drops it exactly down. It needs to make a strength save, and it hit its strength, so it splits into 2. So now we got 3.1 and 3.2. Again, not very big little worms there. Okay. That takes us to Marjoram. Marjoram can make a strength save to come to.
19. Nope.
Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Jimson is still up. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. It is Jimson.
Yeah, he's going to attack. Is there how many?
There
so-
are 3
One
little
more.
worms at this point.
One constricting marjoram, and then two that just got made.
He'll attack the one or part of one that's attacked him in the past.
Okay, perfect. Yep.
It's 6 + 2 is 8 damage.
I'm going to say because number 3 was the one that had just attacked Jimson, and that's the one that just split from being hit by Colby. With that big of damage and the seam ripper, I think you just ended both of them. And so that's a double slice for the price of 1. So that will take us to 5.2, which upon being the only remnant of worm left is now trying to burrow its way into the ground. As it is fleeing the scene.
I just step on the lower half of its body and then try to bury an arrow.
Was actually
in
just kill it
in one of its brains.
Yeah. Awesome. I would assume at this point you tend to marjoram.
Yeah.
Okay.
We tend to I've got the mucus.
Oh yeah,
we're
hit me with some mucus.
Okay. Very good.
Tilt back that gullet and flip this mucus over and tap it where the 57 would be on a Heinz 57 bottle.
Oh, there you go. There
It's
you
actually
go.
not how you get it out. The best way is to actually give it some centrifugal force, and then once that mucus starts to drop out the bottom, that's when you just stick it down their gullet real quick.
I will say this too, just for people who play this in the future. The way HP restoration works in Mausritter is if you take a short rest, which is the equivalent of just catching your breath outside of combat, you replenish D6 + 1 HP up to your max. One of the things with the ointment that could be used in combat to replenish HP, so you wouldn't need the short rest. So technically, if you want to save the mucus,
let's just chill for a few minutes.
That's true. I was thinking more about the strength damage. How does strength damage? Is it just worn down for?
Yeah.
Forever?
So the way attribute damage works is you can either spend a week in safety to bring it back to full, or when you take a long rest, if your HP is already maxed out, you can replenish D6 up to your max of an attribute.
Okay. Yeah, I'll smear a little mucus on there, just for good measure, but not a usage.
Cool.
Cool. Just a whiff of mucus on this short rest.
Cool. How is everyone at this point doing time wise? I want to. Tony, I want to honor what
time wise I'm fine, but this also that big combat feels like a good place to pause and rest also too. Yep. I know you were like, hey, we'll do these 2, and now we're on number 3. So I'm sorry, we're just classic +1 speed running through
I love it. Like I said, there's 43 of these sections, and one of them is a pocket dimension that has an 8-hex hex crawl. One is a subterranean mushroom forest that literally covers the entire expanse of the dungeon beneath it. There's also a 3rd level that one goes on forever. Back to Kickstarter, get the book so you can find out what happens there.
We don't have to hop off immediately. Normally we do reaction roll here, but since we're doing something a little different, we are doing a kind of a West March E. We'll see, if Colin and Mark, which I think Colin went and already signed up for 2 weeks from now, want to come back. We'll see everybody next week. Alicia will get first shot at joining us again, also too, who was not able to join us at the last minute today. Hope that they get a chance to join us in a couple weeks. That's a great thing about a mega dungeon. There's always just a new player character right around the corner.
Exactly.
After whichever one you're playing dies, and so or if you need to throw people in. But yeah, because we're doing that. Let's talk a little bit about our thoughts, and let's do a little bit about stars and wishes. So moments that stood out as super fun, and things that we kind of hope we get a chance to explore or look at next time. Does anybody have one in mind? Mark, you got that big kind of head nod going. Do you got stars or wishes you want to shout out?
Yeah, there's just a lot of really great stuff, and a lot of really cool looking stuff on the map at all. So the wish is just to see more see more wacky stuff.
Cool.
Love it.
Awesome. Colin, anything from you?
I think it'd be cool to see some spells. This is my first time actually playing Mausritter, so it was cool because I've read it through it. I've made dungeons for it, but I have never actually played it or run it. So it was cool from that perspective. The way the spells work is different from other Into the Odd games. So that's cool.
Yeah,
so
spells are cool.
Experience
It-
that.
This is one of my stars. This was my first time getting a spell.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm like, yeah. So awesome. Yeah, I think stars for me. It was super fun just realizing we all had moms. That was the mother sign is what everybody had. It was a super fun thing. I also really do. I loved that. I loved that opening scene, right? Like hey, you walk in and here's this giant radical tapestry in front of you. That kind of open. Is that you said these are the first ones we're doing, Matt. Is that what you encounter as you come into the dungeon at the very beginning, or
no?
Different ways.
That one's actually like the 12th sector of this, but I do like the way that one sets up, and I was like, this feels fun. That's just to like dive in. No, when on the actual dungeon, it's set up kind of funny because it's like it breaks what you would think it should be. But there's there's the store, and then there's the mole combine headquarters, which the moles are there's 6 different factions of moles, but they have like a place where you can hire them at like the beginning, because the in-world canon is that people are just like exploring this, trying to pull treasure out, and so they were like, hey, here's an opportunity for us to like make some money. We'll just hire ourselves. But the moles have a goal, and so like the way Mausritter works, in between sessions, factions have goals, and so you can roll for faction play, and as the factions advance, it changes the landscape. And the moles have a goal to take this over and just make this into their kingdom, and no one knows that, which is kind of fun because like you'll have moles working for you, but if the faction advances, now the moles have an ulterior motive to like maybe get rid of you, and so there's some fun there.
That's cool. I love that. How many factions are there?
I think there's a total of 8. Actually, there's 9, because there's a new one that got submitted because this was a game jam. I just found out from someone who had signed up for the game jam almost 2 years ago. They had gone away to basic training, and so they missed the submission date. But they'd written something, and I had bumped into them on another podcast, and they were like, hey, I was like, just send it to me because I'm still in layout and editing. We can why not add another faction? And so Felipe, I sent him the faction and is doing a full page art of that faction that'll go on the new spread. So it's gonna be really cool. It's a unique faction that has a lot of fun.
The marketer in me is like, that was a stretch goal you just gave away for free. The player in me is just super excited to see a cool new faction get thrown in also too.
For sure.
No, yeah, it's super exciting, super fun to play with this crew as always. We are, speaking of mega dungeons, starting next Saturday, we're going to be starting a 4 to 6 week long actual play of To Live Beneath. It's a little bit of a public play testing for a new Down We Go adventure we have. So if you like old school mega dungeon stuff, if you want to see how a bunch of goofy, weird factions interact with each other, spun around some of the different heart pieces we're doing, come back and check it out over the next few weeks. I'm very excited to get a bunch of new folks in playing on that. It's going to be West Marches style, so we'll have a couple people who are probably pretty consistent through it, but we'll be having different folks show up each week to kind of explore that mega dungeon. And then in 2 weeks, we'll be back here again playing and continuing our exploration of Tomb of 1,000 Doors. Matt and I also do have a stretch goal way down the line after we get some extra cool stuff for the book done, that if we get enough backers, we will do kind of a produced longer actual play series as one of the advanced stretch goals also too, just because we love being able to get things out there. And Mega Dungeons are such a cool place. The space that the Mausritter community has created, and I mean that both in the sense of the Tomb of 1,000 Doors, but also in the digital and community space that it has crafted has been really great. I am super excited to get to partner with Manadawn Studios and that community to make this out. I know that so many people who have been involved in that creative process and who love this game are very, very excited about it. So I'm looking forward to it. Matt, anything you want to say to folks before we sign off?
Yeah, I would say if for anyone who sees this and you're like, I've never played Mausritter, that feels like a barrier to entry. Mausritter is like one of the easiest games. You can pick it up for free. Isaac Williams, the creator, like generously put it up for free or pay what you want on itch.io. So if you can't afford it, get it for free. It's super easy to learn. If you can't afford it, throw Isaac some money because it is totally deserved. And if you do have some money sitting aside, I know the box set is getting restocked January 17th at Games Omnivorous, Exalted Funeral, and all those. So that's super cool. Maybe you play other Into the Odd based games. There is compatibility for Tomb of 1,000 Doors. We have listed on the Kickstarter page how you could plug Tomb of 1,000 Doors into just about any Into the Odd based game and make it really fun and interesting. I mean, I talked with Goblin Archives about how we could make Tomb of 1,000 Doors like this weird nightmare horror dungeon for liminal horror, and it's just like, yeah, there's so many different ways to do it. So yeah, I'm excited, and I'm excited for the community. As Tony said, the Mausritter community, this has been a passion project for the last 2 years. We have a team of 7 volunteers who said, hey, we'll help edit, we'll help transcribe, because it was 38 submissions by all these different creators, no continuity between them for design. So it was cool, but it didn't feel like something we could put to press. So one of our volunteers just was like, I'll type it all up. At that point, it was 188 A5 size pages, transcribed the whole thing, and then we've just been editing it. And so an amazing team bringing it together.
Awesome. Really excited about it. Mark, you want to tell people where they can find your stuff, and if you have any parting thoughts?
Yeah, find my stuff on major.itch.io or major.com. All my links are there. Parting thoughts, Mausritter is super fun. This is the first time I got to play it. I've run it a bunch. I kind of, halfway through the run I did, realized that Mausritter kind of is a horror game because you're tiny little mice going up against all these big things. So it's really fun to kind of get that feel from it with all the stuff we're going to do here. So yeah, looking forward to more.
Awesome. Colin.
Yeah, you can find me at Bioden Spirit RPG on Twitter, Blue Sky, etc. Itch.io as well. Yeah, it was awesome to play Mausritter for the first time. I can't wait to back Tomb of 1,000 Doors when it goes live. But yeah, definitely check it out.
Awesome. We're super excited about all the different things that we have coming up. If you want to help support all the work that we do, one of the best things that you can do is head over to rpgzine.club. Check it out. Help us support emerging designers from around the globe get their games into print without having to do crowdfunding, because not everybody wants to run a Kickstarter. Even though it is fun to run one, it is incredibly emotionally demanding, and a lot of people in the world can't. So every month we put out 2 new RPGs, 1 story game, 1 adventure game, and we send them out all over the world to folks who want them. We have digital options as well as physical ones. Of course, you can find all that at rpgzine.club, and it helps make our channel and our brand more sustainable. So if you want to support us, that is one of the best ways to do it. But more than anything, we'd love to have you just go to ttrpg.link/1000doors. Hit follow there, or if the campaign is live now, head over there, check it out. If you want to back it, please do. If you're like, hey, I can't back this, or hey, I don't know if I'm not the GM for my session, tell your GM about it. Share it on social media. Supporting directly is great if you have the means to. If you don't have the means to, just telling other people who might be able to about it is incredibly helpful. Always feel free to tag either myself at +1EXP or Matt at Manadawn Studios is their name.
Yeah. Manaramp Matt.
Over on social media. We're happy to amplify any love that you give us. And we'll be back in a couple weeks to keep on playing and exploring the Tomb of 1,000 Doors. Bum, bum, bum. If you're still watching, we're going to raid somebody. I don't know who it's going to be. I'm going to click raid. We're going to figure that out. Bye.